The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone. So, the Paris terrorist attacks. What really happened? And would banning religion solve the problem? Wednesday, the brothers Sharif and Saeed Kouachi launched an attack on Charlie Hebdo newspaper in Paris, killing 12 people and injuring 11. And they went in there and they picked off specific people. They went into an editorial meeting and asked for names and killed specific people. This was in response to some, well, cartoons on the covers of Charlie Hebdo, which were offensive to Muslims because of how they depict the Prophet Muhammad. On Friday, a man named Amedi Coulibaly went into a kosher supermarket in a suburb of Paris and took hostages and also killed, I think, 4 people. The brothers and Coulibaly were both killed in their own attacks. Well, they were killed by police. There's some weird things about this whole thing. Is it really anything to do with Islam? Is it because of Al-Qaeda or ISIS? Personally, I'm not really convinced. They both, the brothers and Coulibaly, both felt compelled to talk to the media, which is odd, I think, for terrorists, you know. Coulibaly on Wednesday killed a policewoman. No, on Wednesday he killed a jogger. On Thursday he shot a policewoman. On Friday he attacked the supermarket. He said his attacks were attacks on police. Well, the Thursday one was on a policewoman. He said something about launching attacks on police. So it seems like he's got kind of mixed motives. Maybe he's just on like a general killing spree. I mean, what did the jogger do? How does that come into the picture? Then when he spoke to the media, he said that he was funded by the Islamic State, meaning ISIS, and that they also funded the Kouachi brothers, and that he coordinated his attacks with them, as in like they were working together. It turns out that Coulibaly's, not wife, but like girlfriend, forget her first name, but her last name is Boumediene, who's now disappeared somewhere to, I think, Syria. She knew Sharif Kouachi's wife. There had been 500 phone calls between them in like the past year. Kind of got to wonder, how did the authorities know that now? Were they tracking them? You know, did they know this before? Coulibaly says that he was funded by Islamic State. The Kouachi brothers said they were with Al-Qaeda. And Al-Qaeda in Yemen said, yes, we did it. So that's weird, because you got like 2 different stories here, and the 2 usually don't work together if you believe that there is such a thing and it's not all CIA database in the first place. One says it was ISIS. The other one says they were Al-Qaeda. They say they're working together, but they're not. They're working for different groups. And then Al-Qaeda Yemen says it was us. I think Al-Qaeda Yemen would like you to believe it was them. Probably they didn't do it, and they're just like, yeah, it was us. Be very afraid of us, because this is what we do. But it's probably not true. So, what was President Obama's reaction to this? Well, he gave this speech. I thought this was interesting. Well, he was talking about the terrorists and how all they have to offer is hatred and suffering. But we stand for freedom, hope, and the dignity of all human beings. Wow. Now that is what you call a propaganda speech. That's a propaganda technique known as glittering generalities, because I mean, how can you be against that? Hope, freedom, hope, dignity for all human beings. Of course, it's a load of BS. Well, I mean, you could say there has to be a little asterisk. The hope, freedom, dignity for all human beings, unless you're Palestinian or you live in a country that has, you know, natural resources that we would like to take control of, or if you live in a country where you go against our imperialist agenda, then, you know, maybe not so much. So is religion to blame? Well, you know, the guys were Muslims, so should we blame Islam for this? Now, there's a couple of videos I think you should have a look at if you're going in this direction. One is, this is Reza Aslan on CNN, does Islam promote violence? This guy killed it. And he made a very good point. He said, you know, if some kind of violence happens in a country that's Muslim, we blame Islam. And yet, it's really, whatever the problem is, whether it's violence or it's lack of respect of human rights when it comes to women or something like that, it's really a problem that's particular to that country. not to that religion, because you have other countries that have the same religion that don't engage in this kind of stuff. And then you have other religions which are known to be peaceful, such as Buddhism, where, you know, you have, he said, marauding Buddhist monks. But does this mean that Buddhism is a religion of violence? Well, of course not. So he has a very good point. And then the other one here is Newman Ali Khan Collection. It was also on Facebook. And he's discussing Islam and saying, you know, what would the Prophet Muhammad's reaction have been to being ridiculed? And he says that the Quran actually says something along the lines of turn the other cheek. And those are my words. He said something like, it says, let them say what they will. That apparently the Quran clearly doesn't say that you need to go out and get revenge if someone insults your prophet or your religion, because people insulted Prophet Muhammad when he was alive, and he didn't treat this as a reason to go out and commit violent acts or seek revenge. And the name Islam actually means peace. So Islam is supposed to be a religion of peace. So I don't think the problem is Islam itself, or really even religion. If you say it's religion, you're kind of giving religion too much credit. That would be like saying, if I sent you to, I don't know, a mosque, would you suddenly believe everything they believe? Or if I sent you to a church, would that make you a Christian? Would you do whatever your pastor says? I don't think so. Also, banning religion. What countries have banned religion in the past? Communist Russia, Communist China, Nazi Germany, totalitarian regimes, basically. So is that the kind of government you want? It's not the kind I want. You can't have freedom and a government that has the power to ban religion. As I said, I'm a civil libertarian, so I would say banning religion gives the government way too much power. That's not the kind of government you want. And let's not blame religion. I think it's more complicated than that. And if you look behind, you know, who started the Taliban? It was the Americans. Who started Al-Qaeda? Apparently it was Americans. Not American people, but American government. So maybe the problem is like corporate imperialism and kind of totalitarianism. What we're trying to avoid. Maybe that's sort of what's fueling these things. So let me know what you think, and thanks for giving this video a thumbs up. And thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.